And we begin here. The fraud and money laundering case involving Gupta-linked Nulane Investment is back in the Bloemfontein High Court today. The court is expected to finalise outstanding matters ahead of the trial, which is set to take place between January and March the 3rd next year. These include the NPA's application to have the Gupta brothers extradited, as well as their associate Iqbal Sharma's own application against the start of the trial. Govan Whittles is our man with this story, and he joins us live now from the court. Govan, good morning to you. Perhaps give us a sense of the kinds of questions that we, members of the public, would like to hear answers to. What is it that we expect to come out of this particular hearing? The understanding is that this is in large part going to be the extradition hearing.
Good morning from the Bloemfontein High Court, Olian. Perhaps the first question would be whether the South African government, the National Prosecuting Authority, has a strong enough case to merit the extradition of the Guptas from the United Arab Emirates. That's one of the questions we hope to have answered in the judgment in the Nulane Investments matter. It's a technical matter which comes as a result of an application by Iqbal Sharma, who's a known Gupta associate, claiming that the state has not given enough information about the strength of their case, the particulars as they call it. And it relates, of course, to that feasibility study of 24.9 million rand on whether agriculture projects would be possible in the Free State. And the answer to that question, by and large, will determine whether or not the South African government can secure the extradition of the Guptas. Watching this judgment undoubtedly would be the authorities in the UAE, who are considering the application that the South African government has made for that extradition. The Guptas won't only be called to answer on the feasibility study and the money trail that the investigative directorate says it's traced back to them, but also by and large on the Estina dairy farm case, the one in Vrede, which was for 280 million rand, that the State Capture Commission's witnesses described as having been set up to loot money from the state. That's essentially what the two brothers, Atul and AJ, would have to come and answer to here in South Africa if the court rules today that Nulane Investments has been given enough information, that the state's case is strong enough to proceed. It would certainly bolster that extradition application. And the two matters are intrinsically linked, the Estina matter and the feasibility study, with the study preceding the decision by the Free State government to proceed with the Estina dairy farm project. Of course, involved in this case is not only Iqbal Sharma, but a number of government officials and people who worked for the Guptas, who were seen to be part of this broader network of state capture that led to the looting of the Free State government's money. And let's take a look at what the investigative directorate has to say about how these two cases are linked and how it directly points to the Guptas being at the center of it and is dependent on the extradition application.
This is the second attempt that we're doing as a state to basically make sure that some of the shelf companies that were created, what we're alleging were part and parcel of how the Gupta family benefits are actually brought to book. Currently, we're bringing those that aided and abetted and ensured that they make the money actually get to the various Gupta entities to account. What we're also saying as a state is that this is the second strike. First was Nulane, now it's Estina. Both of these matters are what we put in our application for the extradition of these particular persons in another jurisdiction.
Govan Whittles, let's leave that conversation there. We know that government has been making assurances, especially on the element of extraditing the Gupta brothers to come and answer to their alleged crimes in South Africa. The Minister of Justice, he has been at pains to point out that that process is still ongoing in the UAE. So for the time being, let's leave it there. Govan Whittles will keep us updated throughout.